This video is brought to you by Squarespace. In a corner of SpaceX's headquarters in Hawthorne, California, you won't find rocket engineers or even adults for that matter. For a number of years, Elon Musk ran a school out of his rocket factory to educate his 5 children, not including boy number 6, Baby X. They had been enrolled at a private school for gifted kids in LA, but Musk wasn't satisfied with their education, as he once told a Chinese television network.
The regular schools, they weren't doing the things that I thought should be done.
Musk has been critical of the American education system, pointing out teachers don't explain why kids are taught a subject. They're taught a mathematical formula without explaining why that formula is important. As an analogy, he says simply listing the tools you need to take an engine apart isn't the same as trying to disassemble the engine yourself, and by doing so, learn the relevance of the tools as you go. When he's not happy with how things are done, the entrepreneur tends to do something about it, whether it's creating rockets, cars, computer chips, or his own school. He named it Ad Astra, which is Latin for to the stars.
I actually hired a teacher from the school they were at, who also agreed with me that there was a better way to do it.
That teacher is Josh Don, who I spoke with over Skype. Was it a tough decision for you to leave the private school where you were teaching at to go on this new venture?
No, of course not, right? If anything, Elon asked me to think about it, and I responded, hours after we originally spoke, like in the middle of the night, because it was so clearly a great opportunity.
Ad Astra was far from a typical school, with no classes in language, music, sports, or even grade levels. Students were grouped based on their ability, where they took part in complex team games to test their critical thinking skills. In one simulation, teams competed at various art auctions to try to assemble the best collections to display at exhibitions around the world, similar to what these students are doing.
I like the shrine game.
Okay, yeah, you do that one.
It's a lot for adults to juggle, let alone the 8 to 14-year-olds at Ad Astra. Musk reimagined how school could be taught based on first principles reasoning, a fancy way of saying, how could you rethink how something is done in order to make it better, a strategy applied to Tesla's manufacturing of batteries. It used to be very expensive to build batteries for electric cars. You could say that's just the way it is and there's no way to bring the price down. First principles thinking would say it's possible to make cheaper batteries by breaking it down to the basics, figuring out what the batteries are made of and how those materials could be cleverly combined to form a battery cell. In education, first principles mean figuring out how students can get the best learning experience possible.
To bring about the best future for them and for the world. I can't believe that it's sitting at a desk listening to a teacher tell you how to do side angle side theorems in geometry class.
Ad Astra grew from 9 kids in the first week of 2014 to 50 6 years later, a mix of children of SpaceX employees as well as high achievers from the area. Sometimes they ventured off campus. A converted garage at the former house of Gene Wilder once served as a chemistry lab. This unorthodox approach to education doesn't come cheap. Tuition was around $30,000 a year, with some receiving financial aid. When Ad Astra closed in June 2020, Musk donated funds to kickstart an online school called Astronova, headed by Josh Don. Although the SpaceX CEO isn't personally involved, he has his fingerprints all over the new school. A former SpaceX engineer teaches rocketry there, and even the application is related to one of Musk's passions. Interested students have to submit a response to this environmental problem. How would you answer? There's a large lake near a small town. A corporation dumps harmful chemicals into the water. Scientists studying the lake say it'll die in 10 years if the pollution continues. An individual, the puppet master, is concerned new regulations will impact profits, so they decide to pay a small group of scientists to publish bogus research claiming the lake has never been healthier. The media reports on the new study. Politicians have the power to stop the pollution, but decide not to, since there appears to be disagreement over the health of the lake. Plus, the company employs so many people in town. Its closure would devastate the economy. Voters who listen to the media, politicians, and scientists are confused over what the truth actually is. They re-elect the politicians. The corporation continues dumping harmful chemicals into the lake, and the lake dies 10 years later. So, who is to blame? There's no right or wrong answer, but the school is interested in how the children reason through ethical dilemmas. It's not about preparing the 100 or so admitted students for an Ivy League education. In fact, Musk went on the record to say degrees don't matter when Tesla's artificial intelligence team looks to hire. Putting it this way, don't care if you even graduated high school. Not to mention, many smart people dropped out of college, like Steve Jobs and Bill Gates. Musk has said he simply wants evidence of exceptional ability, which he hopes can be fostered at a young age.
And SpaceX, of course, is an exercise in possibility.
The concepts are available to kids around the world online through a separate venture called Synthesis. As people spend more time online, the need for a quality website is more important than ever. Whether you like to display your work, start a business, or a blog, it's a way of representing your brand, and now you can try it out for free. I've used Squarespace for years to show off my portfolio as a journalist, well before they became my sponsor. What drew me to Squarespace is how easy it is to create and edit my own site. It doesn't require any experience in website building whatsoever. There are also many great templates to choose from. You can receive a complimentary trial by visiting squarespace.com/newsthink. The link is in my description. And when you're ready to launch, use my discount code Newsthink to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. Thanks so much for watching. For Newsthink, I'm Cindy Pom.